is like I've had more than one that didn't go really well. And both of them had an interpersonal issue, like more personally, but I wasn't the cause of that. She knew that I got the position before her. So I applied for a job, got the job, and then where I worked, a person quit very suddenly for health reasons. So I didn't feel comfortable leaving as well until we replaced at least one of us because I didn't want to put the facility out.
Yeah.
So I called CBA and I was like, hey, never mind. Like, I hate to do this to you, but you're out a supervisor. This place is out one of its main clinicians. Like, clients will lose services. Like, you just won't have a super, no offense, but like, it's not the same. And I'm sure you're interviewing other people, just give the job to somebody else. So I stayed until we hired somebody at the ICF that I was working at. And then when I came back, they had just hired somebody else for that position. And then they offered me a position right below her as like a supervisor, but I didn't really have much of a supervisory caseload. It was more of like a title, so I took it, like senior. And at the time, senior, that position wasn't really very developed. So she knew that I got the position before her. And then when I didn't take it, I don't think she applied when I applied the first time. I think they opened it up after me and then she got it. But there was always like on her end, a big competitive, had an interpersonal issue with me. So having to be the supervisee who's in a personal dispute, but when somebody like Steve or Sharon or whoever's higher up in the company says, what's the personal issue? I don't have one. You know what I mean? Like, I don't. I'm just living through it right now. That was hard.
Yeah, so how'd you were telling me, tell me more about like how you said you're like perceiving like the end goal. Right?
Yeah, I mean, so that one-to-one situation is not good. Supervision should be a support. It should be a person who, like, I think of supervision as service. Like you're there to help those below you to make them better, to provide better services. So they're a mentor. They're an assist person. They're an asset for you. And that relationship was so polluted from the start.
How long were you in that?
Oh, like a year.
Yeah,
and it was negative throughout.
For a year.
Because she started on day one with very negative. And I came in and I was a person who had a lot of experience in the field of behavior analysis, not in the field of community practice. So like, I came from an ICF. I don't even know if people who watch this will know what that means, you know? So I needed to learn a lot, and she had this competitive attitude towards me. So every time I didn't know how to do something, she more pounced on it to assert the roles. Whereas I was like, I'm here because I think I'm really good at book stuff and what I've done so far. You know, I think I know the science. How to do it in the real world that's not a 202B court-ordered facility, I'm clueless. Like, I need you. And I never got that message through because it was such an interpersonal thing. So I had the end goal of like, my goal is to get better. Like, I want to be good at this because I want to help the most people possible. So I just kind of stuck out a polluted relationship, and I got to the point that like I was seeking ways to interact with other people that could fill that role. So like if I could find a reason to need Sharon's help with something, I mean, I was definitely going to take that project. I was going to make that a loud issue. I was going to seek that out. If, you know, I worked at a different ICF through CBA with a private contract in Louisville. I live in Lexington. Like, I was driving and staying in a different city 2 days a week just to find some supervisory role, because that was my goal. And I didn't really get that where I was because I wasn't allowed because of that kind of polluted relationship. So I was finding a way to do supervision. And then also Steve Foreman works at the Lee Clinic next door and helps with the contract. So like that was an outlet to a mentor through Steve. So anytime a career opportunity came up where I could find somebody that I could leech information out of and latch onto, you know, like I was really seeking that because I didn't care as much about like a relationship that was kind of polluted. That's unfortunate. I just kind of had the attitude of like, kind of like, okay, like let's keep looking. Like I thought of it like multiple exemplars. Like, this is failing. I haven't been able to repair a situation that I didn't break. So clearly I should get better at that. But in the meantime, like, let's start new relationships. Let's just find people. And then through my supervision in Louisville, I learned a ton. And it was kind of funny because I wasn't good at it at all. I failed miserably once I became a supervisor of that contract. I was over the department, and like, it was really sad because I supervised people who I knew very well, I had a very good rapport with, had a history with, and I thought I was really good at my job, and that's how I got the supervisory position in that part of my job. And then I was not good. Like,
what's an example of one that you remember?
Oh, I tried the hamburger, because
describe that.
So hamburger is like positive feedback, negative feedback, positive feedback makes it softer or whatever. So I had that issue with, I respect this person so much, I like this person so much, it's hard to be so critical, because at an ICF there's very different rules, regulations, policies, procedures, everything. So some of the errors you make are like egregious in the sense that like that's illegal, or that's a citable offense by an investigator. So like, this is a big deal. So I would send the hamburger, I was like, hey, how are you, like, doing really good here. There is one big thing we need to talk about. This is not okay. Like, and then I was trying to be concrete, like, this is not okay. This is unacceptable. Like, please change this immediately. Yeah. I was trying to be very like just analytical and concrete, and like, this is a really important thing. But then I threw in all that like, love you at the back, like, not that, but just trying to be like, you're still doing a really good job. There's one thing, but you're still doing great. I think we're how you. And it broke. I still remember getting an email from her where she was like, we need to meet because I'm not happy with supervision. I was like, oh, like I had no idea. And then we couldn't meet, something happened, so she just sent me an email. And it was like, you're not good at this, like, at all. Like, I hate it. Like, I'm not, like, and the things that stuck out where she was like, it's not clear to me how you feel, whether I'm good or bad at this, because both things now sound like ingenuine, because they both seem to be like staged to count, like, so she's like, I can't tell if I'm doing well. I can't tell what's important anymore because you say things are important and then you like contradict yourself. So, that email like haunts me. Like, I think about that all the time because she's so good. The girl I was supervising is a wonderful clinician, and I think very highly of her, and she was right. And that sucks. Like, negative feedback when it's just the truth. Like, oh shit, I didn't even think about that. Supervision was always a big goal of mine, though, because like, as a clinician, I could count how many people I'm contacting, how many people I'm helping, and then you keep up with like place where you failed or whatever. But like, it's a very clear, like, my caseload is 21 humans. Like, that's who I'm serving. And then you look at supervision, and I mean, I just recently got a position where I'm indirectly affecting hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people, and that's so exciting for me. So that was always a goal. But what I've kind of cut out of is like, I'm bad at supervision through email. I'm not a big fan of phone calls. Like, I'm a really big face-to-face person. Like, I really love to sit down and conversations other people don't like, or they're difficult, or like critical feedback or praise. Like, I've learned that I should get off the phone as soon as possible, because I do not like, people misinterpret me a lot through the phone. And then, I mean, literally when I say email, I think about that email I got from that clinician. Like, it still sticks with me.
Do you still use the hamburger method?
Oh God, no, not at all. No, I learned viciously and quickly that was not good.
If you're into this channel is purely ran by patrons, just like Clinical Behavior Analysis. Follow this link, and if you can, support. Let's build this community and this message and show the world what behavior analysis can do.